Hi, my name's Damara, and this evening I'm going to be giving you some decrees which I feel are really, really important at this time when we have so many different cycles of karmics going through, hopefully, the endings of these karmic cycles. But there is such a lot going on with Pluto in Aquarius, and some people have no idea the depth of how strong these cycles are at binding you into certain situations. So, what I was doing today was clearing out a load of paperwork again, because I did fill the bottom of my suitcase with all the things that I'd been involved in over the last 35 years or 40 years, really, before I left England with that one suitcase. And as I go through it, I see so many interesting things that are not so much talked about now. And this is something that I did on an awakening workshop with a lady called Sandy Stevenson. And this has got to be 36, 37 years ago now. But what I'm going to do is read these out to you, and they're really interesting because these are real decrees of asking for that assistance that at different times all of us need. But this is really looking at how can I unbind myself to habits and bad behavior and negative energies that I've become immersed in or that I have attached to me through. And this can also be through addictions. I mean, I think most people realize now that when you're addicted to certain substances, there are energies attached to those substances, which if you don't go into the addiction phase with these substances, they don't attach to you. But when you are yourself addicted and obsessed by the material, like marijuana, for instance, when you are actually obsessed and addicted to it, the diva becomes an obsessed, addictive diva within your energy field, which isn't very pleasant. It's nothing like when you take medicinal marijuana. But I'm not going to go into too many details of why we might need these decrees, but I think it will become obvious when I read them to you. And the way these are done is each one, and you can just choose one that you say to yourself for the next 10 days, 3 times every evening before you go to bed or in the morning when you get up. Or you could say all of them. And I remember myself, when I looked at this today, I remember actually doing this with real intent as I read them, because we were in this workshop and this wasn't a subject I'd been involved with. I think I've mentioned this before. I had no real connections to negativity, had not seen any evidence of it in my life. And really until recently, I'd certainly not had any experiences where people were attacking me with this sort of behavior. And that is now clearing. But I had to be very strong and use clearing things like incense. I'd never really burnt incense or sage as a clearing thing. And I've completely changed my mind on that now, because I really didn't need it. Nothing happened to me like that. I realized that psychic attacks, and I have spoken about this one, comes about when you have a weakened energy field. So that I have worked with and have helped many, many people, use all of the things necessary to strengthen your energy field. And that is in dietary things. Like if you eat a lot of sugar, your energy field is so weak on the emotional side. And this is where I got hit and really affected by a psychic attack. And that was because I knew that, not because of the sugar particularly on that occasion, but it was because I'd just gone into a new relationship where some strange behavior started right off, and it had taken me by surprise. But But on this side of things, this goes much deeper into that, and we're going to be talking about negative agreements with all discarnate entities and all things like that. I'm actually going to read them. So if you just maybe listen with awareness to this, because there's a lot of power in this. This has real purpose. And the first one is, by divine decree, in the name of Christ and under the law of grace, I hereby absolutely and without exception break any and all negative agreements with all discarnate entities. The second one, by divine decree, in the name of God and under the law of grace, I now break all agreements with dark forces, for I now choose to move fully into my divine presence and the I am that I am. Third one, by divine decree, in the name of the Mother, Father, God, and under the law of grace, as my right as a light worker on this earth mission, I request Saint Germain to use the violet flames to cut and disintegrate the negative thoughts and patterns that surround me. Fourth one, by divine decree, in the name of God and under the law of grace, I ask for the full intervention of the highest Christ-like forces to heal the planet and to bring peace and harmony to Earth. Now, how powerful is that? All of those four, in their own right, are doing slightly different things. They are calling on the power to bring about cleansing of discarnate entities, agreements that you may have. I certainly have never made agreements with, or consciously made agreements with, negative discarnate entities, but do we even know the depths of how this comes about? And certainly, I take on board that addiction thing, because I don't think anybody who becomes addicted because they are in need of substances to anesthetize themselves, they have no idea what they're going into. And I think it becomes very obvious to them when they start to detox, start to go what we call cold turkey. And when everything starts to move within them and they go out of the addiction phase, but then become very vulnerable and have to protect themselves a lot. So that comes into, I think addictions comes into that first one. But the second one now is actually that conscious decision. I now break all agreements with dark forces, for I now choose to move fully into my divine presence and the I am that I am, the most powerful thing you can ever say. And with this one, I would say, if you understand that you have been in karmic behavior, then if you only want to do one, do the second one here. I mean, I would actually recommend you do all four. They are so powerful. I felt the atmosphere in my room here change as I read these, because I'm reading them with attention and in the now moment. I'm reading them with intention on the words as I say them. And if you do this, it needs to be done with you in the presence, in the now moment. If you don't totally understand that, then go onto my playlist on Fast Track to Cosmic Consciousness, because it's the first thing I teach, is how to be in the now moment. And the third one, I love this. For me, I love this, because it's Saint Germain and it's the violet flame. And I always have a little sign of the violet flame in my room. And this is everything we need as star-seeded ones, as people who know we have a mission here to bring in our new world by divine decree in the name of the Mother, Father, God, under the law of grace. As my right as a light worker on the earth mission, I request Saint Germain to use the violet flame to cut and disintegrate the negative thoughts and patterns that surround me. There cannot be anything much more powerful than that. So if you don't align with any of these negative forces, discarnate entities, and you certainly haven't consciously chosen to make connections with them, and you've never used black magic and all the spell work that lots of karmics do, then you don't need to do that. But if you've had and you are still in a certain amount of addictive behavior, you know, that is a good one to do. I'm looking at the second one here, the dark forces. Yeah, you'd have to have chosen to have had those dark forces in your life before you need to do that one, I think, also here. But the fourth one we all need to do. We all should be doing it. By divine decree in the name of God and under the law of grace, I ask for the full intervention of the highest Christ-like forces to heal the planet and to bring peace and harmony to earth. Not many words there, but so powerful and so on point of where our evolution as the collective is going. So you may be able to take a copy of this from me, putting it in front of the screen. I'm not sure whether you're going to get all of it. I will try that again to see if we can. And let me go back a bit so that we get all of it in. I'd forgotten all about this. I've not pulled this out of that bundle of paperwork probably for at least 2 decades. But I don't see people using this stuff now. And I remember that there were many things we did like this, going back to, I'm trying to think when this would have been, the 90s, the 2000, year 2000. Probably more in the I'm trying to think, more in the 90s, I think. Yeah, beginning of the 90s, I would say this is. And also another one, which I'm hoping I find a copy of, was where we used to, and I have talked about this on another video, but where we took back our contract with the divine to be here now, on contract, on our missions. And that was a piece about 3 or 4 lines long that we used to do little ceremonies with this. When I had a few people who wanted to do that and wanted to re-contract with the real reason why they came here, that was really powerful. And I certainly went through this myself 2 or 3 times over the 3 decades, where I was working every day with other people, helping them to awaken and to be in the now moment and to be on purpose on their mission. And I would do this. I would have a very serious ceremony for myself to again take back my contract. I haven't done it for a while because I feel like now there's no chance of me not being on mission. But I hope you enjoyed this level of information that I'm giving you here. And if you do, please subscribe so that this goes round on the algorithm and more people see it. At the moment, I'm being blocked by a group of people, and it's very hard for my information that I put out on videos to be seen by many people at all. In fact, yesterday was one of the lowest points, and this is because they've made a recent concerted effort to try and shut me up basically. And this may be to do with religion, or under the idea that it's about the fact that this does not fit in with their religious beliefs. But it also comes from a group of people who have been carrying out criminal activities, and there is a court case coming up. So I need all the help I can get, because I'm not stopping. And I'm just relying on the fact that this information is indeed useful to other people, and that they will subscribe and they will like the videos. So thank you for allowing me into your space today. And I'll be back tomorrow with some more important information.